everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Lydia here with your full moon lunar eclipse reading for March 25th, 2024. And we are going into some major energetic and spiritual events, especially towards the end of March and into April. Boy, oh boy, April's going to be quite the month. What do I mean by that? Well, we are jettisoning in our spiritual growth. And at the same time, there's a lot going on in the world that we have to keep one eye out for and take a look to see what's going on and how it's going to affect us. But at the same time, as we're going through this month, this upcoming month, all I can say is just be gentle with yourself. This is a time for not only our spiritual growth, but everything is changing on the inside. It's unbelievable what is happening. So let me give you some tidbits here. The lunar eclipse full moon is in Libra. This is the scales, basically. The balancing of the light and the dark. Funny that, especially when it comes to the eclipse. This is a major eclipse. Not only has this eclipse at the particular time is at a time where all of our planets within this month, all of the planet this month meaning April, all of the planets will actually be in a linear alignment. Some we will see, so 4 of them we will see, but the further out that the planets are, the harder it will be to see with the naked eye. So that is a once in a millennia event. It is unbelievable. Not many things or not many parts in the media are actually showing that or mentioning about it. They're saying that there are the 4 planets that we see, but there are some really interesting, if you dig a little bit, there are some interesting reasons as to why that is happening. And if it's once in a lifetime or once in a millennia, I'm talking like millions of years that this has happened in this particular time period, especially with the eclipse at the same time, a full moon at the same time that you're able to see these planets in this linear progression. It is not an alignment as per se, like in 2020 we had the alignment of Jupiter and Saturn, and it was just one on top of the other in December of the winter solstice. That was again once in a lifetime kind of situation for our lifetime. This is once in a generational, like multiple generational lifetime that we're going to see something like this. And it perfects, you could see it quite readily in Jerusalem apparently as well. And there's a lot of lore, I suppose, or the reasonings why this is happening based on some Christian beliefs as well. So you can dig into that if you'd like to. But it's definitely a once in a lifetime event, which means that with the planetary alignments the way that they are and how they affect us in the first place, we are in for some huge energies affecting us. Now, knowing that the solar energies that are coming in, the gamma rays, all the little particles, they are seeping through us. They're seeping through the clouds, whatever's up there, and they're seeping through us. And they're changing us at a cellular level. Mark my words, that is a guarantee. Check it out. Scientifically, it does occur. And because of that, there is no time like the present to let go of everything, because this is a full moon, so the full moon is all about letting go. Let go of everything that doesn't serve you, that doesn't implement some kind of positive and momentous event for yourself. What do you want to see in your life? Do you want more joy? Do you want more love in your relationships? Do you want more blessings? Do you want more abundance? You've got it. This is a highly manifesting time period for us. We can manifest practically anything that we really, truly want. That is not only for our highest good, but for the highest good of all. And that is the key part. If you're looking for winning the lottery, maybe that applies, and most likely it does not. Why? Because it's also brought in by ill intentions. So whatever's putting it out there, whatever is basically putting a lottery out there is not necessarily the intentions that Spirit has for you. So this might not be that it's wishful thinking. On the other hand, there are many other ways that things can align for you in synchronicities and opportunities that will actually get you well ahead, making you feel very comfortable where you are. Now, the other thing too are the scales. We're talking about the alignments. Right now, we are struggling with the alignment of the masculine and the feminine energies. Right now, we have been struggling for quite some time, but it just seems like it's quite a struggle at the moment. But having said that, this is an opportunity to change our minds, to change our perspectives, and form belief systems that are congruent with where we're going, which is a whole new dimension, a whole new reality that we can manifest for ourselves using the energies that we have in our thoughts and in our imagination, which happen to be our amazing creative abilities as human beings and as beings, as light beings all over the planet. Okay, so that's my rant, and that's my energetic bleh to you guys, so that you can look at what is really happening at this time. The alignments, the watch for the planetary situations, watch where things are going to be. I encourage you to read and watch videos on the astrology at this time, because it is really potent, and it starts everything off for the rest of the year. If you're looking at our spiritual growth, and when I mean spiritual growth, I'm talking about physically, mentally, emotionally, and that part of the spiritual aspects of us that are heightening in our consciousness, our collective consciousness, as well as our individual consciousness. We are changing at such rapid rates right now. It's literally like a rocket, and we are the rocket. So having said that, I have 4 cards. I picked the cards for us. We're going through and using the Star Codes Astro cards by Heather Roan Robbins, and we're also going to be using the Starseed Oracle cards, which of course is perfect for this time, by Rebecca Campbell. So let's get into this. The very first card that we have, I've picked them and I haven't looked at them, is Progression's Journey. Isn't that interesting? We are on a very, very potent journey right now. Humanly, we are in probably a stage of life that we have never, ever been in all of our incarnations, all of our generations as a human collective consciousness. We have never been in this type of situation. And when we're talking about the progression, we're talking about our evolutionary progression on this path, this human path. At the moment, we have the opportunity to let go of every karmic experience that we've had in the past as the energies. Let go of that energy and basically formulate what we want to see in a new earth, a new beginning for us all in a totally different type of reality, which accommodates love and peace and compassion. And a key thing to that part as well, when you're letting go, is in forgiveness and making sure that you're also you're in gratitude. You're in a state of gratitude for everything that you've done, everything that you've been through, every experience that you've ever had in every incarnation, even if you don't know what that is. So those are the elixirs that count on this journey. So let's see what the guidebook has to say about this. The planets continuously move through time and space. When you are born, you imprint the patterns of that moment, which are described in your natal chart, your astrological natal chart. But the planets keep moving, and you also imprint the patterns they make as they progress through those first few months. These progressions sketch out the big, sweeping journey of your life. You live that pattern out at roughly the rate of a year to a day for the rest of your life. Once you're born, you can't choose the cycles you live through, but you can always choose how you respond. The action here, progressions do not speak of a passing thing, but to the big sweeping arcs of karmic fate to your soul's journey. Your present situation may not make sense in the short term, because it has more to do with big karmic patterns and how those intersect with the karmic patterns of the world's progress, and less to do with your daily existence. It goes deep. Stand back and look at your life's journey. Think of the years you engaged with the world and the years you needed time for more personal work. Consider making a timeline or painting of this landscape to see where you are in this big these big sweeping patterns. This situation may feel ill or may feel fated, but the outcome is not predestined. Though you may feel uncomfortable, you always have a choice about how you respond and where you go. To help guide you in the moment, consider where you would like to be at the end of your life, a far distant point, and look back. Let this future become your lighthouse to guide you. Even though you may have to go around the rocks and work with the tides, let your lighthouse guide you. The challenge for this, and for this particular card and this time, this is not a small obstacle or opportunity. This is a part of a complex pattern. Every choice you make changes how it unfolds. And that's true because we are so intricately involved with each other that anything that you do, say, or any action that you do will also influence the rest. The gift here, trust the tides and set your own sails. Now, this to me really amplifies what is happening on the individual level. As an individual, we are changing, we are moving, like they say, we're moving through space. Whatever that's doing is also influencing us. All of the cosmic energies are also coming in and also changing us at many different cellular levels. So what I'm seeing here is the journey is what counts. What we have done in the past, and again, this is one of those times where we can stand and basically look at our past and close the door, let the past go, knowing that we have formulated who we are today at this particular time because of the journey that we've gone through, because of all of the heartache and difficulties that we've gone through. All of the challenges that we've gone through have been for a reason. And even though we don't know exactly what that is, like quite honestly, we can only guess, we can only expect that what Spirit basically has put us in this world to do. We have formulated a lot of that, but we've also had something predestined so that we can accommodate these goals, learn from them, and carry on. And there are times too where we haven't learned so that we'd have to go through it again. So at this particular time, this is saying close the door on the past. Whatever it is that you have accommodated into your life, allow that to just seep in and just be processed during this particular time. You've lived out a long set of lives and you're enriched by it. So that's where the gratitude comes in. That's also where forgiveness comes in, because no matter what it is, we've probably been everything. We've been both the victim and the aggressor. We've probably been very subdued, but we've also been very bold and almost cruel. So we've been on both different sides, and that's the duality of this world. But it also makes up the journey that we've been through. So now's the time to choose what do we want to see on the next journey, on the rest of this journey. So let's look at the next card and see where we're at here. Taurus, cultivate. So this is a perfect time too, especially since we're going into spring in the northern hemisphere, but we're also changing seasons all around the world. And this is basically Taurus cultivating. We're cultivating a particular time in our lives. And how would you like it to occur? How would you like to cultivate it? Would you plant seeds and not take care of it so that you can actually watch the fruits of your labor? Probably not. And that's what, again, spring, this is all about. This part of spring is you cultivating that part within you that is willing to grow. It's deep. This is deep. So let's look at the guidebook and see what it has to say. Taurus, the other thing too is it's the Taurus. Taurus is about the bull, and it'll let you know a little bit more about it in the guidebook here. So Taurus asks you to hold still, dig in, grow roots, and strengthen over time. Manifest in a practical way. Signified by a bull standing in its field, Taurus rules the neck and voice. Its purpose is to bring life into matter through growing wildflowers and crops, through our muscular strength and the sensual potential of our bodies, and through the solidness of our material resources. The sun shines here April 21st to May 20th. And I find this very interesting just because we are May 20th, between May 17th and 20th, there's a very potent, in the linear aspects of all the planets that are lining up, there's some potent, what do you call them? Alignments. Let's just put it that way, alignments, aspects. So action. Work with the metaphor of gardening. Plow the ground, plant the seeds, nurture the crops with water and fertilizer, and protect those crops from predation. Grow roots rather than travel. So that means stay in one spot. Investigate what concrete form your project should take and the next practical steps in that direction. Appreciate the senses. Notice what you see, smell, hear, feel, and taste. In other words, really milk the senses that you can from it. Use the senses to be in the present moment and let time flow by. Cuddle, feed. In a relationship, listen to both the signals of body chemistry and the practicalities of your life to give it a fertile field. Cultivate your garden, and that's important too. Again, you're cultivating your garden, not only that part of, like, say, if it means work, it also means play and relationships. Like a slowly growing flower basking in the sun, find contentment in this moment. Explore the roots of the situation. Ask what feeds this idea or what feeds your soul. If you're feeling pushed about, sit, hold still, grow roots, and let the storm pass over you. Don't hurry. Play the long game as you plant and tend your crops. Now it's stay put is kind of what it's saying. If there's anything more that needs to be done, then of course address it. But if it turns out that, again, this is that be gentle with yourself as things are changing and cultivating. Challenge. Taurus excess can lead you to mistake stubbornness for strength or look for spiritual and emotional answers in the material world. There will never be enough stuff to fill an emotional void. Sensuality is a Taurus gift, but sex alone will not fulfill the desire for love. Clarify your hunger. In the gift, everything that surrounds you is made up of matter, and the word matter comes from the Latin word mater, or mother. I have no idea if I said that right. Taurus connects you to the sacred earth mother Gaia herself, the physical vessel who holds spirit in the body, in the plants, and in the earth beneath us. And that is another thing. What is happening as well during this time is that the earth is changing. It's because of the planetary alignments. She's getting an upgrade like no one's business. And who's on her? We are. So we're getting an upgrade. We're getting many, many, many upgrades, one after the other, after the other, after the other. And even though we will hit a plateau at a particular time, whether it's in May, probably May to June, we're still going to have another rise. Each time we upgrade or get downloads from the universe or from the cosmic and divine, all that is, we will have a shorter time to recuperate. Just put it that way. So that's one of the other things that they're talking about here. Now, Taurus is a very bold and motivated type of sign. And that being said, especially when you start something, you got to finish. You got to finish it. That's just what it is. Cultivating it is just like before when it's talking about the journey. We are enjoying everything that we do as we go on the journey. So that also means take advantage of what's around you. Even when you're growing, when you're spiritually growing, you still have the physical senses. So especially on this particular plane of existence, we have these physical senses that we're here to experience everything that's around you. Later, as we start to ascend or move a little bit more in the evolutionary consciousness, those senses will change, will transition, and our inner senses, our metaphysical senses, will begin to become even that much more heightened to a degree that we've never experienced them before. So having said that, it says, do what you need to do what you can in order to fully experience this world, because it doesn't mean that we're wanting to leave it behind completely. We need to experience it in order to grow and in order to learn, so that we can actually continue to, actually share wisdom with other people. This is about not just ourselves as individuals, but every time we grow, everyone else grows because of the ties that we have with the collective consciousness. So that's the cultivating. That's what we're at here. And then we're going to go on to the next two cards. And the first card we have from the Starseed Oracle is Star Keeper, Cosmic Ancestor. Seed the light by staying grounded. Now, one of the things that is happening as well is that we are starting to understand there are parts of us within that are beginning to activate. And as these activate, then, for example, I believe Cryon, so it's the entities that very loving entity that Lee Carroll channels. Cryon has said that at this time we are activating, excuse me, a 24th chromosome. We have 23 currently, which was at the time from otherworldly individuals. We originally had 24 and they were fused so that we can have what we do today as the modern human. Now that 24th chromosome is now again being activated. If it lay dormant for a while, or if it was fused gently, and again, these are human terms. So I'm sure there's layers of spiritual verbosity that goes with this. That 24th chromosome is being activated. With that, we will know our ancestral heritage just by knowing. It's almost as though we will not need to see anything, but looking up what comes to mind and researching it on your own is the best thing to do. But we'll just have this inner knowing, this intuition, because as everything starts to change within us and we start to see our spiritual growth, that would be considered spiritual, we will know more about our divinity and where we are in the world, what makes us who we are, what makes us tick, what our history has been, what our real history as light beings in a human body has been. So having said that, let's take a look at Star Keepers. Sorry, I was in Star Ancestors. I'm like, no, that's not it. So let's check our Star Keeper. Cosmic ancestors seed the light by staying grounded. You're an ancient keeper of the stars, here to anchor and seed your light in your unique way. You've likely been incarnating on Earth for some time, dedicated to an era of awakening and bringing about a long-awaited shift in the planet's evolution, which is happening now. We're at a tipping point now, and that's true. The survival of Earth and all its species is coming to a head. The more grounded you remain during this transitional period, the more helpful you'll be. The more you tend to the flames of your own heart, the more love you'll anchor onto this planet. That's true. The wisdom of the stars is imprinted in your soul. The more soul fragments you call home, the more this wisdom is seated here. You may be called to be in different places in the world to anchor this light. Perhaps by taking a trip or living in a certain location. You may also find yourself experiencing awakening symptoms, and boy, have we ever. The more grounded you remain, the more stable Earth's energy will become, and the less reactive humanity will be. You're here for a double mission: to grow as an individual and as part of a larger collective that's bringing about a shift in frequency. What did I just say? True? Trust that you can be in the world but not of it, and lead a truly glorious life. And isn't that the truth? That is absolutely what we have for us right now. If we want to activate, so a starseed activation that's included in this, place the card on the portal of your heart and whisper the following. And that's basically just put your hand on your heart. I acknowledge that I'm a star keeper. I choose to anchor my light and stay as grounded as possible. And it's true. When we're staying as grounded, it doesn't mean that we're basically trying to stay within this third density, realm. That what it means is that staying grounded could allow us to just continue to have more clarity, to recognize the balance of the energies that we have within us. Grounded could be just as simple as going outside barefoot and standing on the ground. That's connecting with Gaia. And that's what is asked at this time too. With Gaia changing, standing on the earth actually would be very cool to be able to sense what's going through her. And if you're very attuned to that, something like this, and recognizing that we are a cosmic ancestor. We've been part of the cosmos for a long time, eons of time. So having seen that and having known that, we're going to take the intuition that we know of it, that history that we know of it, and it's going to come up. We're going to know. We're going to just know. So anything that's been hidden, any truths that have been locked away somewhere, it won't matter. It won't matter. We are going to find the truth within us because of the fact that starting at this particular eclipse, the solar eclipse coming up April 8th, and as well, this kind of sets it off. The lunar eclipse on March 25th at the full moon, we're going to basically see this beginning, this amazing time period and this amazing transformation happening from that point onward. Let's go to the last card here. You got the love. Hadarian energy, codependency, and boundaries. You got the love. You know what? That's what makes us go around, is love. That's what makes us. That's what trumps everything that could be fearful or that is of the dark side, of the darkness that's out there. Love trumps everything when it comes to that. Let's see what you got the love is saying to us. It says, the Hadarians are believed to be beacons of pure, divine, unconditional love, who see love in all people and situations. As a result, they can find it hard to have boundaried, interdependent, healthy relationships because they only see the unconditional nature of those they meet. The lovers of the cosmos, they dive in fast. They're here to learn how to love while in a separate body, to learn to love self first and then establish healthy relationships with others. I got to speak about that after. To remember that the love they seek is already within them, that they truly do have the love all on their own. The message of this card is to review the ways you may need to establish healthier boundaries. Perhaps you're in a codependent relationship in which you may be losing your sense of self. It's common for starseeds to dive deep into relationships, particularly with those who feel safe and familiar at a soul level. Perhaps you're in a relationship in which you give more than you receive. Or perhaps there's a certain volatility to it and you're always unsure where you stand. This card is assigned to do a relationship review and see what energetic agreements you've made, consciously or unconsciously. To acknowledge if there are relationships in which you feel anxious or powerless, in which you don't feel like it's safe to relax and be just you. To assess if there are any places of inadequacy that you've used a relationship to soothe and cover up. A starseed soul inquiry here. Do you lose yourself in relationships? If so, how? How can you develop a deeper love for yourself? And that's what I want to talk about here, is that the love of self. This is not an egotistical. It's not coming from ego. We have had so many pressures that we've placed upon ourselves that a lot of times we'll look in the mirror and we won't look at each other with love. We won't look at the person that we're looking at in the mirror with love. We've always picked on something, whether it's our looks, our weight, our place in the world, our IQ, like whatever the case may be. We're always picking on it. And what this is saying is, first and foremost, you are a piece of the divine. You are a piece of spirit. If you're a piece of spirit, there's something you have to do. There is something that you are here to do. Because of the avatar that you're in, the human body that you're in, is inconsequential in a sense of how it looks or what you've been trying to do or whatever the case is. It is basically that connection between the body and the soul. And that is a very important connection. You mean something. You matter, no matter what it is or what it is that you think you are or are not. You matter. And this couldn't be any more prevalent as now, because we are going into a new state where not having any type of self-love or recognizing love of others, because you have to love yourself before you can actually adequately love others from the deepest parts of your heart. You have to do that. This is an unconditional love situation that we are going into. It doesn't matter what happens right now, because this density has afforded us to love in different manners with conditions. But this is going to change. And this means a lot. This card is huge when it comes to that. We're going to probably be hard on ourselves as well, because we are going to be changing and transforming during this time period, between April being like a very huge month in that sense to do that, because of the aspects that are happening, things that are just, we're ready to move into a different direction. And because of that, we're going to start to be, we're going to lag behind in some things. We might delay some things. We might procrastinate about certain things, but because of the fact that we need rest and we need sleep. And this is important because we're processing a lot of downloads, a plethora of downloads. So be gentle. Love that self of yours enough to put some time aside for self-care. And I'm saying this, I'm looking at myself in this and saying, I have to do the same. So I'm not exempt. I have to do the same. So let's look at the whole scenario. We have progressions, journey. And basically, as we progress, or as we're going along this journey called life, we are accumulating so many different types of experiences. And those are things that we have to honor. We have to honor this journey. It's about the journey, really. The destination will come no matter what. But basically, it's about what you can attain on this journey. And as such, the next card, we've got Taurus, cultivate. We're cultivating ourselves as we go along this journey, and what we want to see for ourselves all depends on us. It depends on what we want to do for ourselves. Do we, again, that's talking about cultivating plants, for example. You don't just plant them and just leave them. You do have to nurture them. That means that we also have to nurture ourselves as we go through this. And again, being gentle. But cultivation is important. We have to let the seeds gestate as well, before things actually become something more. And we get the fruits of our labor. Now we're into this the next deck of cards, the Star Keeper, Cosmic Ancestor, seed the light by staying grounded. This is basically the fact that we are going into a time where our star nature, our cosmic nature is coming to the fore. It's being activated. And we need to learn that because we are part of the cosmos, that we also have to take the efforts to be in tune with Mother Nature, be in tune with the earth, know that our ancestral heritage is starting to come into the fore, to recognize the history that we've had in our past and let go of anything and any transgressions that have happened. And then that also leads to the very last card that we've got, the love. We are all about love. We are love. We have been love. For we were born of love. We went into the womb of Mother Earth before we came here in the incarnated beings that we are. We came with love. So what this is saying too is just unconditional love is what we are going to need to go to. That means also very harsh forgiveness as well. This is, there are individuals that are trying to control. We have to find it within our hearts at some point in time to let go of the stigma, to let go of the hurt, the anger, because there's lots of anger towards them. And basically, I myself have trouble with this, but dare I say forgive. And as we do that, we start to move forward. That is going to get us higher in our consciousness than any other time of our lives, because we have that darkness. That darkness is influencing us. But we also have always had darkness. We've had the light and the dark, and most of us choose the light part of ourselves and follow the light, and always tend to pick the light part of ourselves. Some do not, and that's the part we still have to honor about ourselves. Doesn't mean that we condone what the dark parts of us have done. We just basically have had to recognize and see those shadow sides, as they're called. See those shadow sides, deal with them, but then also let them go. And so this is something, a very hard decision to do, but that's something that's going to be very, very unique and a part that sets us aside in our spiritual growth. So I really hope this helps. It's unbelievable where we are at right now, and I recognize that this full moon lunar eclipse is the beginning of a very huge change in our evolutionary consciousness, individually and as a collective. So be gentle with yourself. Take some time out, and if you're able to see the lunar eclipse, go for it. And I'll talk about the solar eclipse coming up as well. That'll be something I think I'll have to talk about later. So watch for that in the next video. Like this video if you do, and subscribe if you haven't. Please sign up as well. Go to my website, takebackyourpower.live, and sign up for my newsletter, my free weekly newsletter, because it's giving you a channeling that lets you know what's going to be happening in the next year, or the next week. That too, we're changing in the year too, but it lets you know a little bit about what's happening in the next week, and it kind of gives you little bites of what our spiritual growth is doing, and yeah, it's very loving. So, anyways, thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful lunar eclipse full moon on March 25th, and we will see you in the next video. Take care and bye for now.